and let's just paste that in. Ooh, let's see if that works. It's a lot of layers. Dun, dun, dun. Oh my God.
Here's my Framer London talk about fantasy projects that lead to opportunities. I would like to thank the community team for this invite. Being an introvert, I was petrified at public speaking, but if I can help one person out there, I will be super happy.
Hi. So, yeah, my topic is going to be about fantasy projects. And before I get into the topic, I just wanted to mention about England, right? So, I don't know if you noticed, but we've been pretty bad at penalties. So they've hired a breathing coach recently. So as you can tell from Saka and Alexander-Arnold, they've got this technique down. So for myself, I'm an introvert, so I'm not that great at public speaking. So I'm going to take a massive deep breath. Yeah, that's a bit awkward. So yeah, that's that. Don't mention it to our friends in Netherlands, the Framer team, because the headquarters is in Amsterdam. So yeah, I won't mention it anymore. So yeah, so I'm Roy, and my surname is Quillor. So I'm a freelance UI UX designer. So I work with startups, agencies, shipping products from 0 to 1 and beyond. So I've been in the industry for about 10 years, and about halfway into my career, this was back in 2019, this is where I was made redundant. So with this painful experience in my late 30s, being an introvert, and what I decided to do with the support of my family is build a personal brand. And this is on YouTube, where I started sharing resources and my whole journey. So this is my daughter, her name's Jasmine, and my daughter's friend's dad, who was working at a startup, we became friends. So he invited me in as a designer. He tried to get me a job. So he offered me the role, so I took it on. I took on this challenge to work in an early stage startup. So what we did do is we worked on a ID verification tool, and my role was going from UX to UI and to code. So I do have a background in HTML and CSS. And we also built a resolutions app. This was built in Angular and Tailwind UI. And I worked a lot with the CTO. So we had to go back and forth. He had to wire in the back end and I did the front end. So all roads lead to WordPress. So this is what I've been finding. So we had to build the marketing site in WordPress. So we had a challenge, which is to use less plugins because we were very concerned about performance. And because of my efforts on personal branding, a client reached out and they referenced my YouTube channel, which is tiny, and also my efforts in the Figma community. So this actually led to contract work. So back to my long-term client. So WordPress, there was a lot of back and forth. There's a lot of managing plugins, and the experience was very draining. So Jurgen Klopp, who famously quit Liverpool last season, he famously said he's running out of energy. So this thing here, what he said, it totally resonated with me. What I started doing was searching for another solution other than WordPress. So this is where I came across Webflow, and the community and the product is great. And what I did do is take part in a challenge, which is to make a Formula One website in Webflow. And what I've done is I put X3 on there because I've noticed that when I do free projects, that kind of leads to a client. So Mason, who is the founder of Edgar Allen, which is a well-known agency for Webflow, he reached out about future projects. So that was just amazing to have a chat with him. But at the time I had 2 clients and I was over capacity, even though it's only 2. So I kind of felt that I was burning out at this point. So this is where I just said to him, oh, I can't take on any more work. So sadly, that didn't happen. But what I did do is I decided to pitch Webflow to my long-term client. But sadly, they didn't go ahead with Webflow because they wanted to stick with WordPress. So I had to question myself as a designer. Am I actually growing in this startup? So yeah, that was quite painful. So what I decided to do, this was early last year, which is where I quit the startup. And later that year, they went on to raise Series A. So I was like super proud of the team, still keep in touch with most of them till to this day. So because of the coding side, this is where I was really interested in HTML, CSS, React. So what I did do is I did venture into Twitter UI. I made a clone, just the front end, the home page. It got a bit of engagement on Twitter, and a Web3 founder reached out, and this was for a developer role. So I was very transparent with him. I said, I'm more of a designer, not a developer. So essentially I chickened out of that opportunity. So yeah, that was a nice one, but I couldn't take it on. However, if anyone needs a design engineer, right, because I know that term's been going around, I'll make myself available for that role. So finally onto Framer. So again, I'm looking for another solution because I heard a lot about Framer in the community, mainly on Twitter. So I decided to give it a go. And again, it's very hard to explain, but the experience was just a lot more seamless as a designer. So what I did do, on average, I'd done about 3 projects, and I made a template called Sabang, and this is like a photography visual AI template. And I got my first sale ever on the internet from a digital product. So for me, that was a massive moment. Yeah, not bad. But the other side to this is a client, again, reached out, and this was on Dribbble. So I know there's been a lot of bad chat about Dribbble, but this client is an agency. They reached out, they referenced Sabang template because AI was going crazy last year. So this led again to some contract work. So recently on Twitter, a designer that I follow, who I won't mention, he shared a tweet which is to post real work instead of fantasy projects. So this absolutely started loads of fights on Twitter. So yeah, on to the next one. So what if you are a beginner and you don't have any work, right? Or if you're a junior or even a senior and you're not satisfied with what you have to show. So this is what I believe is fantasy projects, they can lead to real work. But what if you also blend your experience with fantasy projects? So this is what has led me to another SaaS template, because there's so many SaaS templates, but this is called Stream. So SaaS Framer template, heavily inspired by Linear. So yeah, this is something that I made recently. Okay, so this is just an invite. The ultimate project I have left is my design portfolio, right? So I know that's a very hard thing to do. So I'd like to invite everyone here, if you are doing a portfolio redesign, my YouTube channel is Ready Designer 1. You're more than welcome to join. I'm going to do a build, which is HTML, CSS, and then I'm going to do Framer. So you're going to get the best of both worlds. Okay, so if you haven't tried Framer and you're curious, we can see this Google Trends that I did recently, and you can see that Framer is closing the gap on Webflow. So perhaps it's still it's still quite early for Framer, I believe. So I think that the opportunity now for designers to get in the market, I believe, is a huge opportunity. So would you like to see a demo, or should we skip it? Yeah. Okay. Okay, 1 second.
Can I just say, I like how you've built your presentation in Framer.
Oh yeah. Yeah, what else can I do? I had to do that. Okay, so what we have here is a landing page, right? So a typical landing page, fantasy projects can lead to real work. So I've done this in Figma, and just to quickly show you the layers, right? So this has got all the goodness, Auto layout, it's got variables. Let's see if this actually works. Let's go to dark mode. You can see that we got dark mode as well. So this is all the greatness with Figma. However, when I started out, this is when I used the Framer plugin. So let's go to the plugin and go to Figma to HTML with Framer. So let's see that this works. Hopefully I don't wipe the value off of Framer. And there's a little hidden thing, but there's a lot of layers. Okay, so this should be ready to go. 618 layers. All right, paste in Framer. All right, wish me luck. So I'm going into Framer now. I'm going to create a new page. Let's just call that demo 2. Okay, right, I just need to get rid of the black color. And let's just paste that in. Ooh. Let's see if that works. It's a lot of layers. Dun, dun, dun. Oh my God. Right, let's try that again. Command B. This is why demos are awesome, hey? Live. All right, so that, sadly, this is real, guys, eh? This is real, right? Doesn't always work on the first try. So let's give that one more go. Last attempt, I promise. Here's a lot of layers.
See, this is why you design in Framer, not Figma.
Hopefully I don't wipe the value of Figma as well. Oh gosh. Okay, paste in Framer. Here we go. Command V. Come on. Okay. This is where I go drastic, right? I'm going to go drastic. Again, this is going to be live, right? So I'm going to go in and I'm deleting some, okay? I'm reducing the layers. So I'm giving Figma a chance. And this is just the hero section.
It's all Figma's fault.
It's all Figma. It's all Figma. Here we go. So it is not 600 layers, hopefully.
Yeah, even with their updates, it's still broken. See?
Okay. Here we go. Let's try this now. Let's actually go into the layers. Okay. Command V. Come on. Oh my days. Okay. So maybe I'm going to blame the Wi-Fi. I don't know. Maybe it's the Wi-Fi signal. Sadly, damn. So anyway, here's something I made earlier. Okay. Right. This is earlier when it was working. It pasted in the whole thing. Now, the nice thing about this is the reason why there are 600 layers is because it copied the whole app UI in Figma. And for me, that was the moment where I was like, wow, it just did the whole UI, not just the, landing page. So that's the end of my talk. Any questions? Thank you for listening. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. Any questions? Startled. I might give the demo another try later on if you fancy it, but yeah. A web app?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, that would probably be the next one, yeah, web app. Cool. Anyone else? Hi.
You have the link to the tweet.
Which tweet?
The tweet that...
Post real work.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't want to get this guy in trouble. Thing is, right, I've been following him for some time, but yeah, I'll share the tweet if you want it. Yeah. Any more questions?
Well, thank you.
Great. Thank you.